Well, the round of lawsuits facing the NCAA right now could literally bankrupt them. Yes, the NCAA could go bankrupt. We'll get into the details here in this video. Welcome into the channel. I am John Kurtz. On this channel, we talk college football, conference realignment, college basketball all day, every day. Please consider subscribing if you haven't. Make sure you join the live shows on Wednesdays and Sunday nights. They're a ton of fun. People from all over the college sports world. Lots of conferences mixed up in there, some smack talk. It is a really good time. Click subscribe. Make sure you have the bell click so you know when it is I'm going live. Please like the video. Really helps. Let me know in the comments what you think about the NCAA and a potential settlement coming up here. So this is another Ross Dellenger bomb. He has been at the forefront of reporting on what is happening right now with all of the change in college athletics, a potential settlement on the way within the next 2 weeks. College athletic leaders calling this maybe the most important 2 weeks in college athletics history. There is a ton going on. And then we have this. Here's the lead from Ross Dellenger. He says, if they reject a proposed settlement offer, officials from the NCAA and Power conferences stand to face a catastrophic $20 billion in back damages, $20 billion, as well as risking a bankruptcy filing, according to documents obtained by Yahoo Sports. So this is if you don't settle, you play it out in court, they could lose $20 billion and have to file for bankruptcy. Hence why there's a lot of conversation about moving towards settling. The 2-page document was circulated among Power Conference presidents and administrators on Tuesday as ACC leaders met at their annual spring meetings. So the document leaked from the ACC spring meeting. Somebody in the ACC got some loose lips there and leaked the old document to Ross Dellenger. The document details terms of a potential settlement in the House Hubbard and Carter antitrust cases, a trio of legal challenges brought against the NCAA and its 5 power conferences seeking back pay for various athlete compensation elements. Back pay and NIL, basically, for athletes who didn't have a chance to get it if they played before 2021. The settlement, believed to be in the final stages of adoption, consists of 3 main concepts: billions in back damages, a new compensation model permitting schools to share as much as $22 million annually with athletes, and an overhaul of NCAA scholarship and roster structure. The document outlines settlement concepts in detail, as well as particulars around the new compensation model. It also provides university leaders with new info on hot-button topics, such as how a settlement protects the NCAA from future legal challenges, Title IX's application, and the enforcement of booster-led collectives in a, quote, new infrastructure. So this is good news. I'd actually done a video on a previous Ross Dellenger article where it sounded like there would not be any kind of structure around NIL enforcement here, as in collectives. There would still be no guardrails, so to speak, on collectives, and we could be living still in the Wild West that we're in right now. This makes it seem like there might actually be something about that included here in the settlement. So things tend to be very fluid. Documents specify, perhaps for the first time in writing, the total amount in back damages owed to athletes for NIL, and that amount is $2.776 billion. The NCAA is responsible for paying that amount over a 10-year period, roughly $277 million annually, and about 60% of that will come from a reduction in distribution to its schools. So 60% of the $2 billion will be taken on by the schools. It's just money that will be withheld from them that would typically go to them from the NCAA. So initially there was a report that it might be the NCAA just taking all of it for the schools. The schools are going to have to come up with a big portion of this money, just in what they will be losing. The NCAA is responsible for closing the 40% gap through other means, such as reserves, other net incomes, and a significant reduction in operating expenses of as much as $18 million annually. School distribution will be reduced by about 1/5 over the decade period of the settlement, or $160 million per year. The NCAA annually distributes more than $700 million to its members. This is money from ticket sales, TV rights, and the men's basketball tournament. This is where men's basketball tournament's a huge deal. You see how much money's being thrown around here. That thing makes a lot of money for everybody. Power leagues are anticipating a reduction of $1 to $2 million per year in distribution. So that's what you'd have to look forward to there in the back pay. It'll cost you like $1 to $2 million per year. So still not nearly as bad as that was originally feared, but you're going to have to pay basically the amount that was originally feared every single year in perpetuity going forward with the settlement. However, the document notes the tab will be significantly larger and the timeline significantly shorter with a loss in court. Yeah. The document outlines settlement pros and cons and offers alternatives if the settlement is rejected and the NCAA loses in court. For some, an expected outcome based on previous legal results. The estimated $20 billion in damages would likely be payable immediately after the final judgment and not over 10 years. The document notes a reality that in all likelihood could result. Okay. Yeah. So again, we're back to the bankruptcy part here. If this does not get settled, it goes to court. They estimate the $20 billion in damages would likely have to be paid immediately and not over 10 years, which is a reality that would in all likelihood result in the NCAA and leagues filing bankruptcy. While bankruptcy may temporarily derail the active antitrust cases, it would move litigation to a bankruptcy judge for a decision, would require restructuring of a new model, and would open schools to new direct claims from plaintiff attorneys. AKA, it sounds like a freaking mess if all the leagues and the NCAA have to file for bankruptcy. I don't even want to know where that would lead. Aside from the financial figures and 1 week before a potential adoption of the settlement, the document answers some vexing questions and leaves others unresolved. On second thought, maybe I do want to know where that would go. Could we then all start back equal playing field if everybody has to go bankrupt? We just pick it back up and start over? And what would be a significant element in the settlement? The court is expected to reaffirm the NCAA's remaining rules around compensation, including the prohibition on booster payments if they are not true NIL. The document notes. While the settlement would not eliminate collectives, it will provide schools with economic incentives to bring them inside the university. So it sounds like there will at least be like some kind of management of NIL, which I think would at least be music to some's ears. The settlement develops an enforcement infrastructure specifically targeting pay-for-play rules around booster-led NIL collectives, an infrastructure supported by the court's affirmation of NCAA compensation restrictions. This could potentially resolve a sticking point for administrators who believe the settlement does not address what they describe as the Wild West environment across college recruiting. Also, as part of the terms, plaintiffs will agree to cooperate with the NCAA's years-long lobbying effort regarding antitrust exemption. Settlement leaves open the possibilities of athletes being deemed employees. The settlement can be revisited if athletes become employees by either the courts or a voluntary nature. The agreement permits an adjustment to an employment model with collective bargaining. So if they are deemed athletes, this could change apparently. Could be revisited and revised. I read that wrong earlier. My apologies. There's a cap of 22% of a power conference school's media rights, ticket sales, and sponsorships. That's how you get to that number that's around $21 million. The cap is fluid. We already knew this through some of Ross Dellinger's reporting. They can change this. They'll have look-ins based on how much money is being made. Some of these details getting a little bit granular. Title IX, quote, remains at the campus level to be applied, the document notes. Jeffrey Kessler, another plaintiff attorney in the case, believes the Title IX issue will eventually be resolved in the courtroom. At the end of it all is a steep price tag, as much as $300 million per school over the 10-year settlement agreement. The figure assumes the school meets a revenue distribution cap of $21 million, $2 million in withheld. Okay. Yeah, if you're a Power 5 school, the max that you're going to hit here, if you're going to participate all the way in the revenue distribution, $30 million a year. That's the price tag. And that is a hefty price tag for all these schools, especially if you are a Big 12 or an ACC fan. It's basically an updated version of a story Ross Dellinger ran earlier this week, but with the bankruptcy details and some more specifics from the actual document that was being passed around there at ACC Media Day. So great reporting from Ross Dellinger. As always, you can read the full article in the description. Let me know in the comments what you think. Are you feeling any better about things if you're a college sports fan based on this right now? How do you feel about the way this all seems to be headed in court? And, oh, man, bankruptcy being on the table. That is wild. Please like the video if you can. Support the channel on Venmo at John-Kurtz-4. Follow me, John Kurtz Show, on TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram. It's at JLKurtz2 on Twitter. And I will talk to you guys all soon. Take care.